Thank you for joining us today. I'm continuing work on installing the bathroom door. Mainly, I'm building a threshold right now, so we have a solid wood floor meeting a tile floor. And right now we have about a 2-inch gap in between. I was waiting to finish the wood until I saw exactly how and where the tile ended. So now that we have the tile done, we're going to fill in that little gap. I'm going to be taking a piece of scrap leftover flooring. This was a bad piece. The tongue was pretty much gone from it. As you can see, there's really no tongue on that. So we never used it. I know it's got a little paint overspray on that. We'll wipe that off. But I'm going to be using this piece to create a transition between the tile and the wood. It's going to be really easy. I'll take you along. We're going to rip it down. We're going to notch it out, and it should be done. The only problem is that the tile is only an 1/8 inch lower than the hardwood floor, so it's going to be a very thin transition. It's a very thin piece of wood. Hope we can do it without it breaking. I'm first going to rip it down to 3 inches. I mean 2 inches. Okay. Now I'm going to set my blade to about 5/8, and we're going to be cutting this right on the bottom. I hope this is right. And we got to get it 1/2 inch down. So basically, we're just going to cut off that corner. Check this out. That's skinny. I hope that works. It doesn't feel weak though. Let's check it out. Now before I bring it in, I cut it to length and I beveled off the edge a little bit just to soften it up. So I just sanded that edge down. Nice and soft now. Well guys, I test fit this in and it is looking really good. It'll slide in. I don't want to put it in tight right now. But that's basically how it will look. And I made this wide enough so that I could put it in and then slide it back onto the tongue. And what that does is it ends up leaving an expansion gap underneath this lip between the tile and the wood floor. So it's not right up on it. There's a 1/4 inch or so expansion, just in case the wood floor ever moves, it's not pushing against the tile. I'm going to use a furniture repair marker to try to color in the edge that I sanded. I did round that off just to make it look normal. Let's see if this looks good. No. No. That's the color.
Good.
Sometimes just having a little touch-up kit like that is so handy for small jobs instead of having to buy stain. I just rubbed a little bit of clear varnish along the edge just to seal that marker in a little better. And we're going to let that dry. And while that's drying, let's get our caulk ready. This is silicone color matched to the floor grout. I guess we can get this tub edge sealed in. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to put a little bit underneath this, just where it touches the tile. Maybe I'll just put it right on the tile. And that way, when I set this in, it'll kind of adhere and stabilize this thin lip. I don't want to put too many nails in here because I don't want to see them. I probably could leave it just like that and that silicone will kind of glue it in place, but I'm going to put a couple extra nails in just to be safe. Hold it down nice and tight. That's not the most color matched thing I ever did. Well, I filled those holes in with a wax stick, but it's not perfect. But that transition sure is perfect. I'm not going to put any weight on it until that silicone dries, just so we're not flexing it too much, but that should help support that lip so it's not going to crack with people stepping on it over time. But I did try to make it as close as possible to like flush with the tile. I know you can buy all kinds of transition strips at the store, metal, wood, and a variety of styles, but I really prefer to have as smooth and seamless transitions as possible, and that's why I choose to make my own, because I can do some really fine custom work like that you're not going to get when you nail down a metal strip. Now that that's done, I'm going to work on this door. You may remember that last time I said this was hanging a little too low, this board, so I just got to cut it up flush with the header, then we can get this door jamb installed. That's what we call it, that battery. Clean. Can I show you guys a surprise? Check this out. I've been working on getting this door hung. And it's done. It's looking so good. Swing's okay. It's hanging as good as I can get it. I don't have the door stops on just yet. I have them out here all finished. I just have to cut them to length and nail them in. But for now, I'm just happy that it's hanging, and I'm going to start working on the hardware. I'm going to be installing a handle set from Nostalgic Warehouse. And it is in line with all the other knobs that we installed in our home. We decided to go with the long plate just for fun. Honestly, we could have gone with the round ones and it would have been just as cool, but we just thought that had a more old and unique look on the door. But it does fit into the same opening nonetheless. Now these aren't the simplest knobs to install. They do have some quirks to them. They're not as easy as just something off the shelf from the hardware store. But it's worth it to us for the extra money and the extra time it takes to just have that flair, because it really adds a lot of personality to the home. And the first thing I'm going to have to do is prepare this opening, because the old hardware was a little bit different than the new hardware. So I'm going to get this marked out. We got the door hardware installed. It's looking really good. Now, when I refinished this jam, I totally forgot to fill the old hardware holes with my wood filler that I was using. I actually did JB weld on the hinge side because I knew the hinge screws, the holes were a bit worn out and they probably wouldn't line up with the new hinges. So I filled those in so I could have some fresh start. Forgot to do this side. Really disappointed in that because the holes for the screws are just a little bit too wide for this new strike plate. So I'm going to go ahead and fill these holes so that I can start over. So I can't put this on right now, but just pretend that it's all done. And you can see this is looking good, finally. So as with everything we do, the door is going to take a little longer than we expected, but I'll get that hole filler in there. And basically we just have to pretend the old holes aren't there because otherwise the screws will just keep going into them. So we'll just close them up, start over fresh. But it feels good to have the door installed.
Yep.
And the hardware on, and that means we can start the trim work in the bathroom. We can do the door trim, some of the baseboards, crown molding, and just start wrapping up the finishing work.
Toilet, shower door.
We are waiting on the vanity still. It hasn't come. It was supposed to be here on the 7th. We'll see when it comes. It's literally been sitting at the shipping place
For weeks now.
It's literally an hour from our house. It's an hour from us, and it's been there for a week. and they're telling me 2 weeks.
For some reason, they just can't.
They can't move it.
Yeah.
They're waiting for the shipment to move. I don't know what they're doing. Anyway, doesn't matter. But there is something I wanted to talk about while we're doing the door hardware. Again, we're ending the renovation. We're wrapping up all the loose ends in our house. And we just installed probably the last door hardware.
Which is awesome.
And that door hardware, like I said, was made by Nostalgic Warehouse. So I just wanted to give a special shout out, I guess, to Nostalgic Warehouse. All of our door hardware in our entire home, front door, back door, every bedroom, bathroom, every bit of door hardware was made by Nostalgic Warehouse, and they make a lot of really nice antique reproduction type of hardware. They do door handles, they do switch plate covers, they do cabinet hardware, etc. So just different little hardware. Not only is all the door hardware by them, but all of our switch plate and outlet covers were made by them. That solid brass egg and dart.
Yep. Really nice brass.
Now, those plates aren't cheap. I know a lot of you guys, you're not there financially to be able to drop 16, 17 bucks a piece on a light switch cover. They're expensive, I know. The only reason we're doing it is because we have the ability to right now, and we're trying to build something special that we can say, wow, this is like
Yep.
the best. We're trying to make like a dream home. The reason I'm mentioning it is because we spent a lot of money on door hardware and switch covers and all this stuff. And I just wanted to say that early on in this renovation, when I installed our first door handle, I ran into some problems. So I reached out to the company to let them know of those problems. And they were so nice. They responded and they acknowledged the problem. They said they would see about fixing their manufacturing to get that solved. And they reached out to us and offered to give us all the hardware we needed to finish our home, to sponsor us.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a huge, huge thing. That's awesome of them to want to sponsor us and do all of that. Because I'm telling you, look at how many covers are in each room. Multiply it by like $16, $17 a piece, plus all the door hardware.
And we've done like a ton of those doors.
Yes. So they offered to supply us with all the hardware for our house. And we politely turned down the offer only because we really respect everybody who's following us and want to be as real as we can. And while it was definitely a tempting offer, we just don't want to do sponsorships on our channel. We prefer to spend our own money and give our own real life opinions about things and not feel any kind of pressure whatsoever to do anything. It's just our thing.
Yeah.
So we did, in fact, buy everything ourselves, full price. Well, it was on sale. I try to buy stuff when it's on sale. But we paid full price, and there was no sponsorship. But I really appreciate them offering, and I just think that that's really cool, and they are a good company. So if you ever need antique reproduction hardware, check out Nostalgic Warehouse. You can find them on Wayfair, Build, even on like Home Depot, I believe, all over the internet, on Amazon. They sell hardware across the board. You can find that brand. We just figured that we're not getting any younger here. I'm not saying we're old, but it's not like we can do this forever, and we're not going to have another chance like this to renovate a house the way we're doing now. I just don't see it happening.
Me neither.
We're ready to settle down and just live a little bit. This is a lot of hard work.
We've been doing this stuff since around 2008, and even before that, on like your mom's house.
Yeah.
So it's been a while.
It's been our life, the biggest part of our life, and we've always just been looking for that chance to settle down and live. Of course, we have a mobile home property that we're gonna renovate and
we're
fix
looking
up.
forward to that.
But
that's a different thing.
But we're not gonna have a chance to put antique hardware in there. We're not doing antique hardware in a mobile home. It just doesn't fit the feels. And so, when is our next chance to get an old house that we can restore and revive and make it into something special. And so we're putting a lot more of ourselves and our money and our time into doing this house.
Yeah.
So we said, let's go all out and get the good covers and get everything, the push button switches and the
Yeah.
glass crystal doorknobs and just all of that cool stuff. Oh yeah, the balcony door. So we have 3 exterior doors.
Right.
So I just want to give credit where credit is due, even though we turned down their sponsor offer. Still think it's cool and they deserve a shout out.
Yep.
We'll keep working on this bathroom. We'll try to get it done and we'll do a big reveal of that. And we're just going to wrap up a few little things, get our house in order, and then we're going to start on the other project, the other house.
Yeah.
And guys, that's going to be an awesome project. You won't believe what we're going to turn that into and what we're going to do with it. So stay tuned for all of that. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care.
Bye.